Hello, friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Pause Talk. And today we have Anjana joining us from UK. Welcome, Anjana.
Hello, Monica. Lovely to be here with you today. And I'm
Anjana,
looking forward to our conversation.
thank you so much for being here. Anjana is a business psychologist and she is doing wonderfully well. And as the talk unfolds, we will know what is that grit inside her, and she will be really revealing secrets of living a very happy and successful life. So I will now request Anjana to introduce herself.
Okay. Hello, Monica. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of this series of conversations you're having. Talking about oneself is always a challenge, isn't it? What can I say? Okay, I'm of Indian origin. My family hails from Rajkot in Gujarat, and came here when I was 10, so 52 years ago, really. And life has been very rich. I think growing up as a 10-year-old in a different country brings many challenges, really. And one learns, how to deal with being a second generation Asian and being brought up traditionally. One of my cousins always thanks me for paving the way. It's like my generation had to overcome all those challenges of being going to university and then being one of the very first women to leave home to work in the city of London. And then I remember when I wanted to buy my flat, it was quite amazing. The mortgage company sent me a big hamper and I thought, oh, what's this? So they said I was one of the first Asian women in the top 100 to apply for a mortgage at that time. And it was thanks from Mrs. Thatcher, who was the Prime Minister then, So I've had many firsts in my life. And it was quite interesting. Today I was just decluttering for sort of, the green bin gets collected. And it was quite, I found a youth conference I had attended. And, I'd shared, you're from Hyderabad. And it was like I'd shared the stage with Sri Satya Sai Baba next to me,
Okay, wow,
and
amazing.
I found a photo. And so, yes, life has given me many moments to be grateful about. And yes, and here I am. I live in Northamptonshire, which is sort of 70 kilometers from London in the countryside. And it's lovely, actually, surrounded by nature and lots of lovely people around and friends and family, and life continues.
So beautiful. And I must add one more first to you, Anjana, because this is the first person on, this is, I think, the 36th episode today, who has introduced herself like this, because we all talk about our professional degrees and what I'm doing, but that was none of your introduction that you just stated. You just stated about how you have lived the life. And that is what you are. I'm so happy and honored that you are here on my post talk today. And I'm sure the viewers will be looking forward to what pearls of wisdom are going to flow more. Thank you so much
for
for being
up
what
all
you are.
That on social media, education and all that. Yeah, there is a degree and a postgrad. But I don't think those define people. They help you on the journey of life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very wonderfully said, Anjana. So as that you have now introduced, so let us still delve into little about your professional journey from your probably how your childhood, as you said, you came here at the age of 10. So what did you study and what did you get yourself educated into it, and then how it all followed?
Okay, so yeah, here, the education system until 18, you're in school and you do your O levels, that they were called at those times, and there's A levels, and then there's university. So again, I chose an unusual subject, applied social psychology. But as part of February has been a month of decluttering, and I discovered something. My sister kindly reminded, I scored at A level. I scored 100% on all of my chemistry papers, including the practical. So that was another first. And my parents never could understand why I didn't go on to be a chemist, but a psychologist. So yeah, so I studied applied social psychology, and I think
Mm,
in that time it was unusual. Now psychology is
it's very
recognized
common.
as a
Yeah, yeah,
field,
actually.
and there are many doors. But in those
Mm,
days, it was very much about, so what are your career options? And
mm,
so I started in the NGO sector.
mm,
Um, and all of a sudden, I think people recognize the many capabilities one has. And I then got into sort of training and development, and started heading big government departments, and at a
mm,
national level, designed programs. So
mm,
it's quite nice in sort of the past few weeks how people who've been on my program have messaged all of a sudden, so yeah, I think it's been graceful. I've sort of touched many lives during my
yes.
professional career. And once I was working, I also did a master's program. And I think lifelong learning is important, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I've also done other things, like I became a yoga teacher. Well, I'm a yoga teacher, and I studied Ayurveda, and yeah, so the studying. So I think for my life, my education is a must, really,
Yes.
upon
Yes.
different levels. And as one is designing courses and helping others on their journey, it's
Mm,
important to enrich oneself. Um,
yeah.
so that's so I've worked across different sectors, and as a consultant, I had the opportunity to go global.
Mm,
Um, I've also done quite a lot of work in India. I was one of the very first, not the first, but one of the very first people to come in and introduce diversity and inclusion in India
mm-hmm,
in 2010. So Naina Lal Kidwai,
mm,
Veena Nair is probably more on the radar now. Sudha Murthy ji, they've all been my
yeah.
clients
Yeah. Yeah.
in various
Amazing.
guises.
Amazing.
So life, yeah, I've worked with Mr. Blair here when he was Prime Minister. And so, yeah, I think the consulting journey has been very enriching, and it has given me a global platform.
Hmm.
And here I am.
So wonderful, Anjana. And I can see the learning part, the kind of books I can see behind you. Those are
Yeah.
testimony of the learning that you are telling us all about. So I can really, really see that what you're saying is absolute thing. And also being able to touch so many lives, no, that is important. We are here in this world to do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also to be able to now understand, people will be thinking that okay, the life has been so good, so where is the pause? So here is the pause we were going to talk about now, with which you will understand the mightiness of this woman who is called Anjana. So yeah, Anjana, please tell us about your pause.
Mightiness, I don't know. Monica, you're very kind. Um, I think my poses have been my two cancer journeys.
Yeah.
And I think the first cancer was a uterine cancer, and I took that in my stride. I was working, and the consultant called me in after an internal examination that there was carcinogen, stage 1A, so they caught it very early. And he recommended a full hysterectomy, and I was in my early 40s and still single, and there's still that hope of motherhood, maybe.
Yeah.
So that was a painful decision to be made.
Right.
But I think once the decision was made, I didn't look back. And that time I was in the hype of my career, with consultancy, and I was traveling lots. And so I think I just started focusing back on that. And so, yes, the scar is there as a reminder, but one didn't think much about it. And in fact, the pain of monthly periods had gone. And
we always find something good about what has happened.
And
the
that
challenge comes the
maybe
goodness.
was.
Yeah.
So what I started from, the sanitary where one used to spend on, I started donating that money to charities, and that somehow gives comfort, right? It gives comfort. But I found this was a consultant saying I didn't need any HRT. I took minimum amounts. And he thinks the diet and yoga really helped that process. I took minimum amount just to protect. And he said, this is like homeopathic medicine. So I said, oh, it's fine. And I think, so the pose helps you, I think, okay, you've once been diagnosed and it's painful, gives you a few sleepless nights, but there is something within that tells you actually you can overcome this, if you go deep.
Right.
And that's what the posing helps. Yeah.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, 2014, I started getting symptoms of, I knew it was a link to my digestive system. And they found it in my colon. That was quite a big cancer. It was a stage 3. And in a way, that pose felt long. I don't know, maybe naturally I went within, or it was, I think that's when the inner journey began for me. And it was interesting. I think it was more a transformative journey now when I look back. And the posing happened in the chanting I was doing. And my anesthetist also, after when I came out, he said, you kept chanting even after I put you out. So it's unconscious. So I do believe in the power of Sanskrit mantras and
right.
In the Om chanting, the Hanuman Chalisas. And interesting, last week I was, as part of my Ph.D., which I'll talk about in a moment, I was researching. I came across a great YouTube by Dr. Tony Hayder, follower of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And he talked about the endocrine system and his research with the Hanuman Chalisa, how hormones changed. So there are scientific
evidence.
stories.
Yes, absolutely.
There is evidence. So this is evidence-based. And I think the colon cancer pose continued after the surgery, really. And, posing has become a part of my life now. It's like you go on an autopilot. Somehow that inner person knows when you need to pause. And I think that's really great.
That's so important.
Yeah. It's particularly when I'm feeling tired and low in energy, I just know I need to stop or do things differently. Not stress.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
I can make out. Yeah, please continue.
And I think being bored is fine,
I even tell that. Yes, being bored is fine.
Yeah, being bored is fine.
So what I take journey now, what I'm taking from your pause journey is that initially, when she had the first episode of her cancer, it was kind of an imposed pause. Like she was at the hilt of her career, and suddenly she got to know about this cancer. So it was a circumstantial pause that she had to take because of this illness which came into her life. But over the years, which is 10 years hence, when she had the second episode, she came on a transformative journey. So pause now, she understands, is where we can transform our life. So that is what we have to believe, that pause is not to stop us, it is to transform us. So that is so beautiful, Anjana, that you have mentioned today, that pause is not bad. No, pause is to transform ourselves from within. We have to go inside and start to change ourselves, to transform ourselves, and then we can take a pause as and when required. No, so it is, we don't have to wait for some circumstances to stop us to have that pause, but we can do it at our own will. No, it can be a radical pause, which I always tell, I advocate that radical pause, so we can always go for that radical pause. So that's so beautiful. Your journey is really inspiring. And how, after the pause and what all the transformation which you have talked about, what is the transformation that you have gone through and which you are able to now tell others after your pause?
Yes, I think that transformation is linked to self-belief and self-confidence. Yeah, we're always seeking validation, and it's nice to be appreciated, to be acknowledged, get feedback. But I think this thing is really about how to be your own best friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, the greatest wisdom in the world will not help if you don't believe in yourself, or if you're not open-minded as well.
Yes.
So out of this, I think you become agile as well, right? You're not fixated in your views. And so let me give an example. As part of my recovery process, particularly after the second cancer, I attended a lot of workshops linked to diet, linked to physical well-being, linked to mental well-being.
Right.
And I think agility was said because the body changes.
Yeah. Yes.
So, for example, I found when I was doing Surya Namaskars, the sun salutation posture, I had to be very careful around, because my abdomen has had 2 big surgeries, right?
Correct.
And it's, so I think it's that kind of adjustment, which has to be very conscious. Again, food, it's so important to change diet. And only a pause can bring about a transformation in dietary habits.
Yes.
So a transformation in habits is quite important. When you eat, what to eat. Also, how to say no.
Yes.
How to say no. And so here I found mindfulness and meditation really help. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
because the mind is decluttered. So you're able to see things clearly
absolutely.
and make choices that are suitable for you. And only
Hmm.
you know you really at the end of the day,
Yes,
right? So
absolutely.
there are all these absolute wonderful people out there, wonderful tools, but how to apply them is the challenge.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, I always agree with people who will be talking about mindfulness, because unless we are mindful of our choices, we will just get swayed by what is given to us through the social media, through various other people around us. But we need to be very mindful of what choices we make, which is suitable to our own self, to our
Mm,
own living, to my own body, to on my own circumstances. How do I make choices based on what is applicable to me, not what is in vogue? No, I cannot just be going, as very rightly said regarding Surya Namaskar also. If I am just in that flow and I don't even remember that I had a toned abdomen, and I just go in, it will even create worse results than doing better for myself.
mm,
So yes,
mm,
we have to be very mindful of what we are doing, and pause is what helps us to be mindful. No, that one
mm.
little pause really helps us to be mindful in whatever we are doing in our life. So, Anjana, I would like to now know about your PhD part that you were telling the other day also. What is this all about?
Yes, and this was as a result of a pause last May when I went to the Himalayas and spent some time in India. Um, I was sitting by Mother Ganga, and I just thought I I want to study in depth really, and it's all linked to my mindfulness and meditation practice. How ancient philosophies influence modern day thinking on neuroscience.
Hmm.
So I'm studying, I'm linking Vedanta and neuroscience together.
Wow.
And so it's been a fascinating journey so far. I'm still deciding who I want to do it with and
Hmm.
where.
Hmm.
It's like I've sent some emails out and everybody's saying yes, yes, but it's sort of um, choosing, yeah, the right fit for me.
Hmm.
And some people say, "Oh, at 62, shouldn't you be slowing down?" And I think this slowdown is a pause as well, isn't
Hmm.
it? It just means you're shifting gears.
Yes. Yes.
And so, yeah, the PhD journey so far has been quite interesting as well. I find my learning style is quite sharp, actually, and that's been a nice
Right.
confirmation. At the same time, there's also uh, the preparation part when you're talking to experts. How do you construct that conversation?
Yeah.
And so I've been going back to my 30-year-old, how I was in my 30s, only because my CEO at the time emailed me about 2 weeks back, and it reminded me of how I was then, and maybe I need some of that back now. So I'm just tuning in. And I just
Wow.
happened to be shifting through some photos, and I found a photo of a 30-year-old me. And I think it's quite important that during the pause actually helps us to tune into who we really are.
Yes. Yes. To our authentic self,
Yes,
no, the true self.
yeah, yeah, your
Yeah.
true self. So, how one has overcome pain, but at the
Hmm.
same time, what were those joyful moments,
Hmm.
and how did that make you feel? And so, I
Yes.
think pausing is quite important to also tune into our authentic self, as you say. And So the PhD journey is, yeah, it's a learning process, and
All the
it's good.
best. All the
Good.
best to you, Anjana. And I'm
Thank
sure it is
you.
going to be very, very fruitful. And we are waiting for the results, the conclusions, and how it is going to really affect. So, what I will say from this point, when what thought came to me is
Mm,
that when people are saying that at 62 you should slow down, what I say is that we cannot stop to create value in life. We have to continue to create value whatever the age. So age is not
mm,
there to stop creating values. And all the more when we have the experience of so many years, why should we stop? No, we should continue to create that value. We should not stop to create value in the society. And if we have the enthusiasm of that 30-year-old, then it is the cherry on the cake. Why not?
I think so. And of course, at the same time, you have to be mindful of
Yes,
where
yes,
you
yes,
are. And
yes, yes, of
yeah,
course, of course.
and yeah, so I think the pause, yeah, I think it really helps you to tune into who you are. And then
Absolutely.
operate life from within to
Outside.
outside
Yes,
rather than outside in. Yeah. And
correct.
I think that's
Amazing.
it's a
This has been a beautiful 30 minutes or 25 minutes of pause talk with you, Anjana. And I would
thank you.
now request you to share one message for the audience.
One message for the audience. I think always have a value for your life.
Hmm.
Yes, so it's so for me, I just believe in better, so one doesn't get stuck. Yeah, so there's always hope. Really, I read this beautiful book on hope last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lovely story in that, and I'll end with this story. There were two oncologists at a conference,
Hmm.
and they were having breakfast, and they were just sharing the results of a drug that had been trialing on the cancer patients.
Hmm.
One had 95% success,
Hmm.
one had something like 30% success.
Hmm.
And so clearly, the one with the less success rate was uh, inquisitive as to how come 95% success. So the oncologist with the 95% success said, before my patients started the trial, I said to them, have hope. This is your
Yeah,
hope.
absolutely.
Yeah, this,
Absolutely.
and somehow that to change the chemistry in their brain, and it helped the
Hmm.
body deal with this new drug and fight their cancer. And
Actually,
it reminded me of my consultant who said to me, it's my job to get you better. Do you want to get better?
yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Yes, it's believe in better.
yeah.
And thank you, Monica, for this opportunity.
So wonderful, so wonderful. This is an amazing, amazing post talk today, which I had with you, Anjana. And this is going to be a highlight, I must say, for my post talk. So thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for being here with me on this journey. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.